Alrighty, spawning, top right side of Roaring Currents, the Chinese Terran once again. It is XuanXuan.
And we've got our amazing Hungarian Zerg player, Sziky, on the bottom left side of the map as the red Zerg.
We also get to see our favorite map again. 2 times in a row. I'm happy with that.
and on top of that, we have again XuanXuan. I think Ian played XuanXuan right in the first set, so it would be nice to compare, right? Okay, how Ian approached the game and how Sziky is approaching the game. So I like that.
Yeah, it will be nice to kind of sit and compare between the two. You know, we did see the 9-pool both games from eOnzErG. This is obviously not a 9-pool. This looks to be something more standard out of Sziky, as expected on such a big map. That being said, eOnzErG did 9-pool even on Litmus, which has quite a big rush distance from main to main. Still, one thing I do want to call out with these, the Chinese Terrans so far is Sziky has already twice taken games and series off of Mihu, who a lot of folks, if you had to pick, a favorite, would say Mihu is the best Chinese Terran, and for good reason. He's had great results here. So just to start things off, I want to say I don't think XuanXuan necessarily has a big advantage against Sziky by any means.
No, I would agree. Not from the get-go. Sziky is amazing. He showed this time and time again. So looking forward to the game, and we see a CC first from our Chinese player, and Sziky is starting. He's seeing that. Now he can adjust his build order.
Bring eOnzErG back, man. Like, this would have been a 9-pool.
Exactly. And GG.
I can't believe it, dude. I can't. How unlucky, man. After being 9-pooled by another, foreign Zerg in eOnzErG, he's going for the 14 command center here, just getting away with murder to start this series off.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wonder if they should know already, the Chinese player Sziky, because they faced him quite a bit in BSL, right? So I wonder if they I don't know, watch replays or see the streams, or even like anticipate what is the preferred openings of certain players. Because, for example, if I'm facing someone in a tournament, I like to take a look on their game style, right? Just to know if they're more aggressive or more into eco or whatever.
Yeah, and I think they are. I mean, we just kind of called it out, but Sziky being the Zerg that has taken series off of Mihu, I'm sure he's really made a name for himself over there. And look at this drone. Not only was it harassing so long at the natural, but even gets to scout the tech. And this is going to be a mech opener from XuanXuan.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's great. I think mech is a very strong way to play, especially off of 14 CC. I would expect this is going to be a very late game. This is going to be a very long game, and Sziky should know that right off the bat here.
Yeah, 3 factories. Okay, so Goliath. I'm really looking forward to it. So it will be probably a full tech, because sometimes we can see a tech opening with Goliaths, and then Terran players are switching back to Marines medics to just move out with the bio and mech force in the same time. Whereas here, it looks like XuanXuan is deciding to go for full tech.
Yeah, it looks like he is. We're seeing that armory going down. Sziky actually getting a 3rd hatchery down at a 3rd base at that 9 o'clock location as well. Versus mech, you really do need to have better economy and more hatcheries earlier than versus SK Terran. So I like what Sziky is doing here so far. He's showing a very good understanding of the game state. I think first Mutalisks are in production here for Sziky. He's likely going to have to try to clear this Vulture from XuanXuan. XuanXuan scouts in with the Vulture, takes a sunken shot, and then immediately moves to that 9 o'clock location and will scout out Sziky's third base.
I wonder if Sziky will go, because Sziky strikes me that from what I saw is pure macro type of player, but I like the additions of queens to versus tech.
Yes.
Queens are just there is such a variety of things that you can do with the queens, Ensnare, broodlings, things like that. It's just amazing. I would like to see it in this game, but I don't know if that's Sziky's style, to be honest.
It absolutely is.
Okay.
It is definitely something Sziky loves to do versus late game mech. I would say the higher level you get, Zerg versus Terran, the more queens become essential versus mech. Because honestly, nothing trades well versus siege tanks other than queens. Like Hydra, well, and Muta, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But really, like, siege tanks are so strong versus Hydra, versus Lurker, even versus Zerglings.
Anything ground.
Anything ground.
I'm a Protoss player. I know a bit about tanks.
Oh, you do? Yeah, that makes sense. You really cannot get caught on pure Muta Hydra.
But going back to the game, really a lot of damage, maybe not a lot, but quite a bit of damage dealt by Sziky. He sniped quite a few SCVs, so it looks quite nice. But Machine, tell me, Zergs often decide to do at one point the Hydra switch, right? Versus Goliaths.
Yes.
You think Sziky will stick to his guns and go Mutalink and counter, or he will go a faster? Because we see already an additional hatchery in Sziky's main, and when I see that, I would say, okay, maybe he's thinking about the Hydra switch already.
Until Terran commits to, like a check switch, Zerg is kind of fine to go pure Mutaling, but I think he assumes XuanXuan's not going to just all in, so he'll likely at least start getting an Evo chamber, start getting +1 range attack, and then transition into Hydros later on here. But really, versus mech, it's still a little too early to go into Hydras here for Sziky. Especially because the map is so big, it's so far away. Muta are just going to be way more efficient at getting across the map and dealing damage, and defending as well, actually.
Yeah, and you're right, especially, you've got a lot of island expansions here, right? So that probably might be quite very secure against tech. So I wonder if Sziky won't decide to stick to the Mutas for a longer period of time.
He might. I mean, we are seeing that full control group of Mutas. Still, nice catch there from XuanXuan. And yeah, here we go. There is a Hydra Den finally down, but not before an entire second flock of Mutas are being produced here, or already completed even. Sziky might be going for a big counter in the main. Ooh.
Yeah, an additional flock of Mutas here is incoming. Okay.
So the thing is Goliaths are very good versus Muta. They are not very good versus Sunkens. It does not take many Sunkens to hold off a sizable Goliath force. And here we go. This is a big counter here. We're seeing the Science Missile try to sprint into the main and try and get some damage dealt with an Irradiate on these Muta. Oh, but Sziky is too fast. He pulled it immediately.
Oh my god, he will be able to deny the upgrade. The armory was killed. That's a huge deal.
That is a huge deal here. It's only going to snowball now for Sziky. Even picking off some Goliaths with some exit kills here. Ooh, but actually ends up losing quite a few Muta there right at the tail end of that. Meanwhile, XuanXuan, though, has his own third base at least up and starting to be able to mine. has that vessel, you know, production going for him. So the mutas will start to fall off here. This is really the point, Mazur, where Hydras become necessary.
Yeah, and the fact that XuanXuan is already mining from his second expansion, third base, is a huge deal here, right?
Ooh.
We don't see even a draw. Oh, okay. Oh.
Big counter again here from Sziky. I think this one really caught XuanXuan out. Oh, but he backs up very fast. He doesn't exactly know where XuanXuan's army is. Here we go. Yeah, he's...
XuanXuan wants to anticipate Sziky's movement with the mutas and catch them flying through the 12 o'clock layer. Oh, okay.
Oh, very nice pull again from Sziky. As expected, he just has some of the best muta control of the entire foreign scene. And this is going to get very annoying here for XuanXuan if he continues to be supply blocked. He's wasting all the irradiates that he maybe wants to keep later on. Yeah, and he's the other thing that Sziky is doing with this is he's keeping XuanXuan on his side of the map. XuanXuan is not being allowed to attack right now because he has to deal with these annoying mutalisks.
Yeah, but man, usually vessels, irradiates, are like denying mutas completely. And Sziky is so precise with splitting the mutas and taking out of the flock of the group his irradiated muta. It doesn't deal in any damage, I would say.
Yeah, it really does not. He's doing such a great job of just mitigating all that extra damage. And here we go. We see the big swell of Hydralisk. I did notice, though, XuanXuan has at least his first 2 tanks already completed. And it does not take many siege tanks to kill off Hydralisk.
And he has the 12 o'clock base that Sziky doesn't know about. That's a huge thing. I think there are more Goliaths than Hydras currently.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
Still, though, good reinforcements here from Sziky. Wow, Sziky even picking off the siege tanks. Maybe the siege tanks... Oh, they're waiting on siege. No siege is done yet. Okay. Wow, very nice move out here from Sziky. It did not look like Sziky was going to be able to do this much damage.
No, it didn't.
But
amazing.
Yeah, very well done. He's even trying to snipe the vessels here. Gets 1, almost gets 2. No way. And Sziky will deny that 12 o'clock base that you were talking about.
Amazing.
Yeah, 74 SCV zeros pointing out. I didn't even notice. But wow, that is a lot of supply of SCVs. That means his army is less than 30 supply. Wow.
And the guys are playing like on a normal standard map. Doesn't care about the island maps. Who cares about that, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. He's playing it just like this is a standard non-roaring currents map. Just going
and
Hydra.
a huge flank from both sides. Sziky will be trying to execute to kill those tanks. We have only 4 tanks and 6 Goliaths. Ooh. That's nothing against 2.5 groups, but the D-Matrix amazingly placed.
Yeah, on the right tank as well. Yeah,
I think if it wouldn't be for the D-Matrix, Sziky would probably kill a lot more, right?
Yeah, I think he would have broken there. He would have been able to break the base, but as is, XuanXuan just at the right time, has very good positioning. You know, nice tanks here. Oh, still though, Sziky might be able to... Oh, I thought he was going to kill it. Shoot. Denying that third gas would have been important.
Yeah, but when 12 SCVs are repairing, it's difficult to kill anything.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Very, very true. Sziky is not all in with this. We're seeing the 4th base now completed here for Sziky. So for the first time, you know, he's up in bases versus the Terran opponent. But this is the part we were talking about earlier, Mazur, where the longer Zerg is just on Hydralisk tech and does not have queens, the trades will just go better and better for mech. Like, you really have to get queens.
Look at that. Look at that.
No way. No way.
Second time. What do we have on the middle island? Is there a hatchery already or overlords?
Oh, okay. That would have been nice.
But still, But the fact that Sziky is still on layer tech, it's a little bit concerning. Like you said, the number of tanks is increasing. I think XuanXuan is already on 6-7 factories. It's gonna be difficult, and even 8 factories finishing. It will be very difficult to match that with pure layer tech, right? With pure Hydra.
Right.
Maybe not layer because queens are still considered later tech, right? But with pure Hydra, it will be very difficult to fight the Terran's army.
Very true. Yeah, we really need to get a Queen's Nest down. You know, it's +2 range attack is underway here for Sziky, but no Queen's Nest drop as well. Maybe a big counter drop could be a way to win this. But the longer, you know, these head-up engagements happen between Hydralisks and between the siege tanks, I think the more in favor it will go for XuanXuan here.
Yeah, now a backstab would be beautiful. A backstab drop.
Oh, I think we're seeing it. That is
called it. Called it.
Yeah, you called it. The reverse commentator cures. This is going to be a big deal here for Sziky. If XuanXuan doesn't notice, he's, you know, as soon as Sziky drops this, it's going to put XuanXuan on a timer. He's going to need to kill Sziky. And here we go, folks. Hydralisk being unloaded into the natural here of the Chinese Terran. We're seeing an immediate backup even from XuanXuan, but this is so much damage. Even catching the 2 tanks from the high ground is Sziky. So many SCVs have fallen here, but here comes the force of XuanXuan to try to delay this. I think Sziky wants to keep picking off these SCVs and then run as far back into the main of XuanXuan as he can just to delay this. Oh, good D-matrixes, though, from the Chinese Terran. Oh, if he uses the mutas here, he could pick off so many free tanks.
Are there... Oh, muta switch. Amazing.
Yeah, very good muta switch. This is another way to deal with these siege tanks.
And those mutas are heavily upgraded. 1-2, 2 armor, 2 carapace. So that's amazing.
Well, yeah, that is amazing. Oh, maybe just not the right timing here. The vessels came back just at the right time to maybe get an irradiate off. And this is where XuanXuan really wants to fight. He wants to fight with the bulk of his force. He has so many siege tanks that these Hydralisks really, you know, shouldn't be too big of an issue. And Sziky trying to counter.
I think it's more about catching reinforcement army, right? Than counter,
right?
Because it's. But now, oh, too many turrets, Sziky.
Oh man.
GG.
Yeah.
Amazing game, really good game. Really.
Yeah, very good game. It really looked like Sziky could have had it at a few different points. Unfortunately, like you called out at the start of the game, you gotta go queen versus mech. Once you recognize it's mech and it's not all in 2-base mech.
Yeah.
At the back of your mind, you have to be thinking broodling. You have to be thinking queens,
swarms,
or swarms. Yeah, true. Yeah, swarm Zergling can work as well.
I think it would go totally different if Sziky, like a 30 seconds to a minute earlier, would go with the mutas and kill those 8 tanks. That would probably be the game changer. The game would probably take quite a bit longer then.
Yeah, it probably would have for sure. You know, it's so tough to play this game, as you know, Mazur. Like, it's just, you can have all the right you know, decision making, but if you can't execute it, it's just so tough to do, man.
I know it's easy to say those things, like seeing both sides, right? Commentating, okay, you should do this, you should do that. But
yeah.
I think we can go to next game number 2, and we will receive the answer to a very important question. Will Sziky be able to equalize?
Yeah, let's check it out. Ooh, alrighty. Spawning top right side of Litmus as the blue Terran. Once again, we have XuanXuan.
Yes. On the bottom right side map, red Hungarian Zerg Sziky. Currently 1-0 behind, right? So let's see.
I liked his play. I mean, in every way, last game, other than just not being able to get away with the queens, being able to produce queens. But I mean, the Muta control was great. It really threw XuanXuan off. XuanXuan did get away with a 14 CC to start things off last game, so that needs to be called out. Maybe if it wasn't from a 14 CC opener, Sziky would have been in a better position to handle it. But yeah, that being said, we'll have to see how Sziky chooses to open game 2 here.
No, we don't.
Standard.
Yeah, no 13 CC.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, this is a little more standard than what we saw last game. I would expect this to be just a standard bio opener now out of XuanXuan, kind of like we saw with XuanXuan versus eOnzErG.
Yeah, I think, even as a Zerg player probably know, it's more common to face Marine than tech, right? It's the standard bio openings is like I would say 6-4, 7-3 in terms of popularity. Majority of the people are rather opening with bio, right?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's way more common to open bio than mech, even though a lot of Terrans would argue mech is easier to control. Look. Wow. He landed. I'm not sure what the lifting of the command center was for there, but that was odd.
A couple of times when I played PvT and the Terran player like lifted to move the barracks to the wall or something, I was able to sneak a probe underneath and just prohibit it from landing all the time. It's an instant win, a small mistake, but an instant win.
Could you imagine how funny that would be to walk, 4 Zerglings across the map and win the game because the barracks couldn't land? Wow, amazing. That's a very fast eBay out of XuanXuan. This is definitely bio, and this is, I would say...
4 or 5 racks plus 1?
Yes. Yep. Yep. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 racks with +1 very early. It's a very non-aggressive opener out of Terran. You kind of, there's not as many options available because you're putting so many resources into getting that early eBay with upgrades. But it is a very strong way to play the game.
I think it was a very strong meta for quite a bit of time, especially when I was looking at ASL and those pro games. Majority of the turns that went for bio went for this kind of opening for quite a bit of time. I think a year ago or a little bit longer. Yep. Currently it's a little bit different, but still quite popular, I would say.
Yeah, still quite popular. Whenever I see this from a Terran player, I think that it shows a Terran player that is very confident in their own play. They're not going for any type of a gimmicky timing and hoping to get an advantage. They just want to outplay their opponent. Bunker going down here.
Oh. And speed. Oh, this time not like in the end of the game. Oh my god. Nice.
Yeah, very
really
nice there. I think he maybe could have pulled the trigger and gone for a surround there, but still, getting 3 Zerglings inside the main is good, very good for Sziky here. Let's see if they get a kill. 2 Marines go down. A lot of SCVs have been pulled. Wow, not a single SCV has fallen though. I gotta call that out for XuanXuan here.
And again, really nice pull.
There's so many weak SCVs. Zero's kind of clicking around, showing how many of them have been weakened, but none of them died. Like, there's quite a few wounded SCVs around the map here.
Oh,
ooh, one fell. I heard one die.
Exactly. Yeah, same here, same here.
And if you look at the worker count, Sziky only down by 6. I would say that's very good for this, point in the game so far.
Yeah. And mutas are already being, like, in a moment there will be a huge threat. And those links, amazing denial of the turret in the mineral line.
And again, they're inside the main here. Wow, yeah, denied and killed a turret, got a marine. They're forcing double stims, even SCVs to be pulled. These Zerglings have found so much value here for Sziky. And here come the Muta.
And the bunker is empty.
In the bunker. No way. Oh no, this is a big blunder, man. He's gonna have to fight down the ramp too into Mutas. This could be bad for our Terran.
Another bunker is being placed in the mineral line, but it's quite a bit of time before it will be ready. One marine, second marine fell, third marine, and a medic. Amazing.
One marine does manage to make it into the bunker along with a fire bat, but again, another comstat's going to fall. XuanXuan is supply blocked. If Sziky pulled an eOnzErG and just sent Zerglings across the map right now, he probably could just end this game.
I think you're
He's
right.
Even picking off the command center.
The command center is like 30% HP, red health. Oh my god. Sziky, what are you doing? Amazing play.
Too good. Oh, he gets a medic too? No way. Oh, there's no range, Zero's pointing out. Oh no. Wow, Sziky just snowballing. Is this it, Master?
I think it's it.
No
amazing.
Way. Wow.
Those links, man. Those links.
Yeah, the Zerglings, I mean, were great, honestly.
So, we got the answer to the very important question, namely, Sziky was able to equalize.
He was definitely able to equalize. I mean, definitely a player who has made a name for himself against, these Chinese Terrans time and time again.